Hey guys, Joe Madden here with the Joe Madden Sports Podcast. I am joined by the one and only Chelsa Messenger, host of the Daily Tip, a national sports betting radio show on BetMGM. Chelsa, how's the day going?
Yeah, it's going well. For me, it is kind of the end of my day since we start so early. I'm up early at 3:30 a.m., which is as miserable as it sounds, but I love what I do. I love getting to do a morning drive show. So that kind of cancels it out. The fact that I wake up so early, but you get to do something you love. So it's a great day.
Absolutely. You're absolutely dominating in this industry, Chelsea. I wanted to bring you on. Talk some MLBs, talk some NBA, and see what you had for today for the viewers. I know that you're looking at some strikeout props in the MLB. What are you looking at today?
Yeah, let's start off hot with a strikeout prop for plus money. I'm going to look at Zach Plesac of the Cleveland Guardians over 4.5 strikeouts for plus 128. And there's a reason it's at plus money because he hasn't hit this in any of his starts so far. But if you look at all six of his starts, five of those six starts have come against teams who just don't strike out a lot. They're bottom eight in strikeout rate. So this is a much easier matchup for Zach Plesac today, going against the Reds, who are the fourth most strikeout prone team in all of baseball, striking out almost 25% of the time. And then if you look at last year, Zach Plesac struck out seven batters against Cincinnati last season. So I think for plus money, this is a good gamble. And plus, he just struck out four against the White Sox, who are one of the better hitting teams in all of baseball. So I think he can get one more against a Reds team that we've all seen is not the team that the White Sox are.
Yeah, absolutely. Just struggling to hit that ball there. I love this prop. What else do you have for us?
All right, so I was undecided on this one, but I think I'm going to go ahead and play it. Dylan Cease of the White Sox going over a strikeout prop of 6.5. The thing about going against the Royals, they don't strike out a lot, and we've seen other aces go under their total. Robbie Ray didn't hit this number. Garrett Cole didn't hit this number, so that's the sabotage factor here at play. But last night, Johnny Cueto, the ageless wonder, hit this number against the Royals. So I think Dylan Cease, a guy that's gone over this number in every single one of his starts but one, exceeding it by a lot. He struck out 11 against the Yankees in only a few innings. So Dylan Cease has wipeout stuff. When we're talking about top of the market strikeout pitchers, he's one of those guys. So I think he has the ability to go way over this. So I'm willing to take a risk on Dylan Cease over 6.5 strikeouts at minus 140. And this number has been flipping back and forth. I still do like it at 7.5 at plus money. It's a little tougher, but I do think it is worth the gamble just because this stuff's so good. So that's another one I do like today.
Okay, that's great. Now, do you do a lot of props, Chelsea, every day?
I think strikeout props are a good market in baseball just
Okay.
because I know you do hockey. Baseball and
Yes.
hockey are very similar in the fact that all of your numbers can be right on the full game, but it's just, some luck is involved. And there's a reason it's not a small sample size sport. So I think handicapping baseball games as a whole is a lot tougher and there's way more luck involved than some of these props. So that's why I'm leaning more towards strikeout props.
Okay, I like it. Now we've got a fantastic NBA game tonight. We have the Miami Heat facing the Boston Celtics. This is going to be a phenomenal series. I am looking for a more defensive series out of these two teams. I'm looking for this one to go deep. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think everybody's expecting defense because the total is 203.5. It's already shot down from 206.5. So I think a lot of people are leaning towards the under in this one. Both teams have been hot to the under in the postseason so far, but at 203.5, I am a little skeptical. I think I am not willing to sweat that. I think situationally, if you took the names of the teams off the jerseys and situationally you looked at this spot, one of these teams is coming off a very physical 7-game series against the defending NBA champions. And plus, they're going to have to go on the road on a rest disadvantage. That team's the Celtics. So I think situationally, the Heat are in a much better spot here. The sabotage factor, however, have been the Heat sometimes can go real cold offensively. We saw in one of those games against the Sixers where they had like 8 points in the first 10 minutes of the first quarter. So that's a factor too. But I think situationally, you're looking at the Heat at home who've been an absolute wagon at home this season.
Yeah.
I know the Celtics are riding with a lot of momentum, but I think I would lean towards the Heat and the home court advantage there.
Yeah, that home court advantage is definitely going to be great for them tonight. This line moving from 1.5 up to 2 now. Point favorites here in this situation. Are you looking at any props in this? Anyone that you think is going to have a good night that we should look at? Do you think Jimmy Butler is going to be shooting those threes from deep?
I think this is a tough game for props, especially if you're playing overs, just because when a total is 203.5, they're not expecting many points. So defensively, these are two of the best teams in the NBA. So it's not a great spot for props. So I don't think I'm actually going to be playing any. But one to watch for is Max Strus, over 12.5 points. He's been big in the postseason for the Heat. And we've seen the Heat. They use a ton of players. They have a deep rotation. It's not just Jimmy Butler. It's not just Bam Adebayo. And plus, if the defense is keying in on the stars, like we've seen the Celtics trying to do, they stopped Katie and Kyrie. I'm not going to say that they stopped Giannis, but they at least tried. So I think that the defensive pressure will be on the stars for the Heat, and that will open up some wide open looks from three from some of the Heat's 3-point shooters. And one of those guys, Max Strus, he's hit this number in both of these games, or both of the last 2 games in the postseason, also averaging 20.5 points against the Celtics this season. So I think Max Strus may be worth a look in the points prop market.
Okay, I like it. We have the Mavericks and the Golden State Warriors also starting tomorrow of that series. Do you think we're going to see the Golden State Warriors coming out and dominating over the Mavericks, or do you think the Mavericks have a fighting chance here?
Who wants to bet against Luka right now? Not
I know.
me. The way that Luka has been putting on an absolute clinic, it makes me wonder if the Mavs do have a chance here. Because looking at the Warriors, did they stop the Grizzlies? Yeah, they did in the series. But looking at those games in which Ja Morant, their superstar, played in, Ja Morant had 34 points, and what was it, 47 points in 3 games against the Warriors? So it makes me think that, yeah, the Warriors are great defensively, but they've had trouble against opposing superstars. So I think that makes me think that maybe the Mavs have a shot here. And plus, they've been undervalued all postseason long. So if their role players are hitting those threes like we've seen in other series too, I think the Mavs have a chance.
Of all of these teams, Chelsa, who would you like to see in the finals to take the win?
God, well, I don't want to see the Celtics win because I hate Boston fans. They've won way too many championships, but I do think it's going to be the Celtics winning the NBA finals. They're just so deep. And plus, sometimes you just have this gut feeling about teams who catch fire at the right time across all sports. It's when teams get this momentum, and we've seen that from the Celtics. From the All-Star break on, they've been one of the hottest teams in basketball. They're so deep. And plus, I think now their young superstars have that experience. They played 2 really tough series. I know that series against the Nets was not particularly interesting towards the end, but going head to head with the defending NBA champions in the Bucks. So I think Jason Tatum up for the challenge. So is Jaylen Brown. And plus defensively, they are just so good. So I think the Celtics are probably going to win it all. Doesn't mean I'm going to be rooting for them.
Okay, I love it, Chelsea. Can you let everyone know where to find you on socials, where to listen to your show, The Daily Tip, as well?
Yeah, find me on Twitter at Chelsa Messenger if you want to drop me a line, or you can listen to my show each and every weekday, 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern. I put all the links on my social, and you can download the free Odyssey app and just search The Daily Tip. We post all of our segments in case you don't want to wake up that early.
Okay, Chelsea, you keep crushing it over there. You're just dominating in this industry. I love everything you're doing. So thank you so much for joining me today. You guys, I will be back later. Make sure you go give Chelsea a follow over on Twitter and catch her weekdays on her show. Thank you, Chelsea.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely a pleasure. Thank you.